Over the last couple years, something I've noticed when it comes to internet discourse surrounding movies, TV shows, is toxic positivity. What I'm talking about here is that when you're talking about like a Marvel film slash TV show or Star Wars, there's people out there that as soon as you criticize a piece of content from some of these big franchises, they immediately get angry. And so they immediately attack you by saying, "Oh, you're just nitpicking. You're being negative. You're being cynical. Why can't you just like this?" The fundamental problem with this is that you're not respecting that, hey, someone has an opinion that differs from my own. You're attacking them because, well, you need to like this. You need to be positive about it, or else there's something wrong with you. You're being a hater, you're being negative, you're being cynical. And even when you say, hey, I was a fan of Andor, but I'm not a fan of Kenobi, there's people out there, as soon as they hear that, they just immediately attack you. You also saw that with She Hulk specifically, where as soon as the season finale came out, people were going onto Twitter to say, if you dare to criticize the finale of She Hulk, that means you're sexist. It means that you're one of those guys. And thus, the internet discourse surrounding She Hulk was very toxic. The same thing happened with the Marvels, where people were like, oh, you dare to criticize this movie at all? Well, that means you're sexist. So, this is what I mean when I say toxic positivity. This belief that if you dare to criticize anything from a big franchise, then there's something wrong with you. It must be because of a character flaw. I think that is wrong. It's toxic. It's called toxic positivity, where you're not respecting that, hey, someone else can have an opinion that differs from my own. There's nothing wrong with that. Instead, you're just assuming, well, someone else dares to not like something that I like. That means that there's something wrong with them. So see that with other franchises too, aside from Marvel and Star Wars. It's just those are the two big ones. That's where I'm seeing this the most. And I think that that is a big problem because it makes the conversation surrounding these kind of things, the discourse, just unhealthy and toxic. And therefore, I think that there are people out there who just don't want to even talk about stuff from Marvel or Star Wars because they just don't want to deal with people coming after them and attacking them. They don't want to have to deal with this toxic positivity. And thus, it's making the conversation worse than it needs to be. And so I wish that people would learn to respect others' opinions that differ from their own. It's a big problem nowadays. Well, the internet and social media have really made the problem worse because it makes it so easy for you to say what you think.